Hello friends of the internet, my name is Cuball and today we're going to be talking about the movie Hellboy from 2019. It's a movie about a demon boy who is raised in the human world and he helps secret organizations defend Earth from monstrous invasions. Hellboy has to try and save the world from a reborn witch that King Arthur and his wizard Merlin put away, all while fighting between his human and his demon self. I'm not going to hold back in this review. I did not like this movie. So just know that in advance. Virtually none of the characters are fleshed out. Puma Army Man is just a stereotypical I'm tough guy who realizes that the protagonist is good by the end of the movie. And the human Ouija board girl is only characterized by the fact that she knew Hellboy when she was little. Otherwise, I can't tell you another one of her personality traits. At first, she almost seemed like it because she seemed sly and sassy and she had that shotgun hidden underneath the table. But that's it. Nothing really memorable that she does later on. She doesn't have any memorable lines or any character arc to really speak of. The Blood Queen just seems evil to be evil beyond just like freeing my people kind of thing. And Pigman is just mad at Hellboy for stealing his already stolen life. Pigboy also looks like some sort of horrific live-action version of Ganon from Legend of Zelda.
Join me, Link, and I will make your face the greatest in Korodai, or else you will die.
The pacing is honestly just trash. The beginning feels really rushed, with the characters jumping between places without anyone developing anything, but then the end just feels so slow. The movie is barely 2 hours, but the ending makes it feel like it's at least 2.5. The Blood Queen is trying to convince Hellboy to lift Excalibur, the one sword she knows that can defeat her, just so he can unleash hell on Earth. And how does she do this? By killing his dad, her one and only bargaining chip.
And somehow it worked. Hey, you wanna help me move next weekend? I'll buy you lunch.
I'm not sure.
Well, how about this? You buy me lunch instead.
Yeah, sure, that seems like a good idea. The music just didn't work at all. As an idea, heavy rock and metal feels like it should go well with this movie. Oh. The writing feels lazy, especially early on in the movie. There's just a crap load of people explaining things like who the Blood Queen is and who the Wild Hunt are and what they do. It honestly just makes me sad because Hellboy's origin of being a last-ditch effort, being raised by the Nazis, and then his dad being sent there to kill him, but ultimately decides to raise him instead, is actually a really good example of how to do someone's story that you learn with the characters. It results in the audience experiencing everything the characters in the story are going through, not just hear about it. That reveal scene also gave us Lobster, and he is Lowell from Wings, and absolutely my favorite part of this movie.
You win, it's over. Simon says it's over. You're really good, kid. You know, people are going to be talking about you.
They already do.
His lines are the funny kind of cheesy that the rest of this movie should have been. The movie tries really hard to be whimsical, like the opening narrator kind of having some weird jabs and random transition scenes with a bird eating a bug. Even with Hellboy himself, with the whole scene when they're doing research and he's like, books have words, I don't do that. But none of it is given enough time to resonate or hit well with the audience. There are loads of examples that feel like lines that are dubbed in afterwards just to fill empty space.
Oh man, why won't you hit me like that? Oh, you gotta punch him there better, Adrian.
So the film fails at being cheesy, but its characters and premise are so over the top that it can't really feel too grounded in reality. It results in the movie just being in some identity limbo. Oh. Where am I? It tried really hard to cover this up by being edgy with all of its metal music and swearing and excessive gore. So basically it suffers from what I like to call the Wanted effect. If you don't know that movie, it swears, has a lot of gore, tries to be super edgy, and it ends up ruining an otherwise really cool movie. Like, for example, the first line in Hellboy just has the F word in it just cause. It doesn't fit. It's not with a character that it helps develop. It's just there. Let's end on some positive notes, because this is Hollywood. This is a massive production. There are absolutely good things about the movie. I genuinely like the performance by Hellboy's dad. The Baba Yaga scene with Hellboy is genuinely creepy, interesting, has some unique looking characters, results with an interesting deal. It feels unique and new, which I appreciate. The general framework of the movie with its premise and its subsequent actions that result of it, not the finer details, but just the overall scope, feels fairly logical and like easy to follow through of like, oh, that happened, I see how we got there type of thing. It wasn't super confusing as to why are we doing this. Plus, some of the costume effects are pretty good. Some of it, Hellboy himself looks a little plastic at times, but a lot of the stuff looks pretty cool. I honestly didn't enjoy this movie that much. I give it 3 out of 10.